It is Wednesday and it's April Fool's Day. I hate this day because my family are big pranksters. Jeremy has pranked me for 20 years and the kids just think that they can prank me also. So I have had tape around all of my makeup brushes. There's been tape underneath the water faucets. All the cabinets were opened. All the drawers were opened. All my pillows were hidden off of my bed. I'm ready for this day to be over because I don't prank, but my family does. So I am not going to be pranking you today. I am going to be treating you today. Yeah, instead of prank day or like Halloween trick or treat, this is a treat for you. So let me just start out again by prefacing everything that I do. I am not a professional. I am a mom and a wife and a friend that just wants to do my best and to show others if they want to know how I do certain things, and then run with it. Make these recipes your own, change them up, do whatever you want, improve them, go for it, because my goal is for you all to just take this time that you have with your families and make the most of it and be a light to your family, because you women you are beautiful, you are wonderful, you are equipped, you are talented, you can do this, and your family looks to you for all of their comfort, and they draw their strength and their calmness from you. So you just get out there and you can do this, okay? So I am going to start off with showing you a little bit what we're going to do, and then we'll take a break while the chicken is roasting in the oven, and then we'll come back and I'm going to tell you some neat stuff. So first of all, chicken and dumplings is what we're doing, and there are just as many ways to make chicken and dumplings as there are chocolate chip cookies, okay? My family, not Jeremy, but the kids are a little bit picky when it comes to chicken. They don't like what's called the squishy parts, which means fat or tendons or a lot of times dark meat. So the most economical way to do this is to get a full chicken and boil it in a pot and pull off all of the chicken and save the bones and add onion and carrots and garlic and make your own broth, which I have done, but my kids would just prefer to have the chicken breast. So, and a lot of times it is easy. But I suggest and recommend that you try both ways if you want to and have some time. So, but what I've got right now is 6 chicken breasts, and they do not have the skin on. I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with pulling the skin off and all of that after they're roasted, because if you roast chicken, it's best to have the skin on and bone and all of that, because all the flavor and moistness. But the thing is we're going to be throwing this chicken into a pot in a minute with a bunch of chicken broth, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I have preheated my oven to 400 degrees, and I am going to roast my chicken for about 20 minutes or so. It'll start to get golden brown on top and you'll see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just toss them in a little bit of avocado oil. I know that sounds crazy. I used to use olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, but I don't really care for the strong taste. A lot of you all out there may be saying, I love that taste. Well, it is a great oil. It is great for your heart. There are many, many benefits of olive oil. I just happen to like avocado oil a little bit better because it doesn't have a taste and it has a very high burning point. And you can use it for your roasting, you can use it for dressings and all of that. So anyway, so I have just sprinkled my chicken breast with coarse ground black pepper, whatever kind of pepper will work, and just whatever salt that I have. And then I'm just gonna make sure that they have the salt and the pepper and the oil on all sides. And I'm just gonna roast them. I am not gonna turn them halfway through or anything like that. I am just gonna roast them until they are golden brown. And then I'm going to take them out and I'm going to let them rest. And then after that, we will come back and I will show you how I shred it up, and then we'll get started on the dumplings, and we will see you back here in just a sec. Okay, so I got my chicken out of the oven and I let it cool, and then I shredded it up with my hands. It's the best forks that you have are your own hands. So I saved one chicken just to show you what I did. That way it gives you the chance to take off any of those little tendons. You know, you just kind of pull them apart, and if you don't want to put those in with your chicken stock. Okay, so that is what I have. I have 4 quarts of chicken stock. I'm making a bunch, but again, you can eat on it. Chicken and dumplings is one of those things that tastes better like 1 or 2 days after you make it. So 4 quarts, I've got unsalted chicken stock. You can make your own chicken broth, chicken stock. You can use the bouillon cubes to make some stock. I just bought it. You can use canned. I use the Swanson box. They come in a quart size, and they are the unsalted chicken stock. And so I'm just taking the rest of my chicken and just kind of getting all of that rest of that yummy oil and salt and pepper. And then I'm going to come over here. Millie, move. And I'm going to put all my chicken. I have not started the fire yet, so I'm putting all of the chicken in the chicken stock. Okay, and then in just a second, I'm going to get it going on kind of a medium. And once it starts to boil, if you have a gas range, you know that it's kind of hard to keep it up high. So you just keep it down low as long as it's simmering. And then we're going to put our dumplings in, and it does not take long. This is really a quick meal. Excuse me. It really is a quick meal. You just have to wait on your chicken a little bit, but that's really it. The dumpling part does not take long at all. So, and it gets a little messy, but it's not hard, okay? So just get yourself a big bowl out. Oops. Get that one. Big bowl. I'm gonna use my baking mat again because I love it. It saves me having to get all kinds of sticky, icky stuff off of my counters, and it's helpful. So, and then I need to get measuring cups out. Okay, get some salt, get some baking powder, get some pepper, get some onion powder and garlic powder. Okay, I'm gonna get my flour. All right. Okay, so I told you that I was giving you all treats. Well, food is definitely a treat, but I'm also going to be giving you another treat. So first of all, in a bowl, we're going to do 4 cups of flour, just all-purpose flour. Will work just great. And the reason why you don't want to use a self-rising flour, there's 3. I'm going to lose count if I don't. Which I've done that before. I've had to dump everything back in and then recount what I just did. Okay. Because if you use self-rising flour, they're just going to get huge. There's all kinds of ways that you can make dumplings. You can do the way I'm going to do it, which is a rolled dumpling. You can do drop biscuits. You can do canned biscuits. I know people have done that. You can, there's all kinds of just different ways that people do them. Okay, so I'm going to take a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm not going to really worry about it. There's a little bit more. I'm going to dump that in. And then I'm going to do a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to do a teaspoon of, when you move around, the camera move around. Addie Grace is going to make you all want to vomit.
I'm sorry.
Okay, teaspoon of pepper. Yes, pepper. You know, that gives it some flavor. And we're going to add some of those seasonings to our mixture in just a minute. Okay, and I'm going to take a whisk, and I am going to just whisk all of the dry ingredients together. It incorporates them before you add the fat. Okay, You can use butter at this point, or you can use shortening. Whatever you have will work. It'll all be fine. So I'm going to take, I'm going to use butter, and it is a half a stick, which is a quarter of a cup. So I'm just going to cut it down, put the other one back. I'm also going to need some buttermilk, so I'll leave that out. Okay, I got my pastry cutter out. Okay, ladies, so I just thought that you all might like a little treat other than food. So I bought 2 brand new sets of the tablespoon and the teaspoon. They come in a set like this. Not this one. This is, I don't know where I got this. This is not a Pampered Chef, but I do have Pampered Chef ones. I bought 2 sets of those from a lovely lady that is selling Pampered Chef. And I am going to give both of those sets away to you lovely ladies, because it's almost Easter. You're going to be working in the kitchen, and I'm going to give those away. I'm going to announce both winners on Saturday, and all you have to do is between now and Saturday, when I make the lemon cream cheese bars, is comment what your favorite thing to eat for Easter is, and there's 2 parts. So your favorite thing that you like to eat for Easter, and tell me if you have made one of my recipes, and tell me if it was good and how it went. And I don't care if you live far away or near. I will get them mailed out to you. So they are awesome. They save so much time. Now, I love those really pretty, you know, you can, like, they're copper, like I have these, but, or they're ceramic, all of the little nestled in measuring spoons, but I do not use them. I just use this dude because it is so easy. I just adjust it, and I'm able to get all my measurements there. So I've used my pastry cutter, and I've cut in the quarter cup of butter. Like I said, you can use shortening if you want. And now I am going to stir in 2 cups of buttermilk. 2 cups of buttermilk. So just make sure you shake it good. And remember what I had said. If you do not have buttermilk, that is okay. If you have regular milk, and if you have white distilled vinegar, all you need to do is take a tablespoon of vinegar. Really, I just do splash into my measuring cup, for 1 cup, splash, and then I fill the milk up to the 1 cup line. So if you were doing 2 cups, you would do splash, splash, or 2 tablespoons, but I kind of like splash. I'm going to make just like a little bit of a little hole in my flour, and I'm going to pour all of this in, and then I'm going to get it all stirred up good. Plastic spoons here. Okay, I'm just going to stir this around, get it all incorporated.
So how many winners is there for
There are going to be 2 winners right now. I just have those. Sets, but if, I don't know, who knows? If we get lots of responses, I may.
How are you going to pick the winners?
Okay, so I'm not telling how I'm picking the winners. Now, I'm looking for a food, but I'm not telling you what food for Easter. And I would really like it if you've tried a recipe and you've given me some feedback, whether it was terrible or whether it worked out, or maybe you've got some suggestions. I would love to hear it. But for the most part, I am just looking for a certain Easter food, okay? And then if several of you all tell me the Easter food, then I will put your name in a little, like a whatever, basket or something, and I will have Addie Grace pull out the name, and we'll do that when we do the lemon cream cheese bars. So let's see. Oh, I need to put some flour out. because these are rolled dumplings, like I said. These are rolled dumplings. So I'm going to show you how I do it, and we're going to get started on it, and then we are going to go ahead and do the little button on the phone that shows you what I've done in like fast
time lapse.
Yeah, time lapse. Goes really fast. So I just dump all of this out. It's not like a biscuit where you want to handle it as the least amount of time that you can. These are pretty hardy, so it's all right. So I'm gonna get all that off my spoon. Don't want to waste any of that deliciousness. And in the meantime, I am going to start my chicken stock here. I'm gonna get it going on a medium. I want to get it simmering because you can't put these in your pot. I probably should have already started that, but I got to talking, which is, you know, my kindergarten teacher. This is when you know, they still gave you S's. Uh-oh, one of my hairs. You don't want that. Don't worry, I'm not giving these away. This is my family's eating, so they're gonna eat my hair, sorry. And usually when I'm cooking, my hair is all pulled back, but when I haven't been doing my hair or makeup like any day at all, unless I video, so I'm like, woo, my hair is fixed. So anyway, back to me being in kindergarten. So I remember that my kindergarten teacher had to move my desk next to her desk. Thank you, Mrs. West. She moved my desk next to her desk because on my progress report it said, too talkative. Well, she wasn't lying. That is true. That is true, but that's all right. Okay, so you are going to roll this out pretty thin. Okay, and you may need some more flour as you go. So I'm just gonna bring my flour over here. You don't want it sticky. And it's okay if you add flour because the flour from these dumplings is gonna make your mixture with your stock all thick. You don't want it to just be like a soup. You know, you want it to be creamy and thick and all of that. So we are gonna get this rolled out, and it may take a minute. So I'm going to roll it out, and we will be right back. I've got all my dumpling dough rolled out pretty thin. It's going past my baking sheet, and that's fine. So if you have a pizza cutter, this is your pizza cutter's time to shine because it's something else that it can do besides cut pizza. If you do not have one, that's okay. Use a sharp knife, okay? And we are going to be cutting they are about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in width, okay? And if it's not straight, that's okay. It is okay. And I am not going to trim off my sides to make this perfect and straight and all of that because they can just be ugly dumplings, okay? Does that mean they're going to taste any worse or any different than the other dumplings? No, they are not going to taste any different. They are going to taste just the same, and I'm going to get every bit of goodness that I can in there. So I'm going to...
That's a big one right there.
I know. So I'm going to finish cutting these, and we're going to show you time lapse because it's kind of satisfying to watch. So we'll see you in just a second. Okay, here we go with the last steps. Okay, we've got our stock, and it's at a heavy boil right now. Remember, we already put the chicken in there. And I'm going to add some seasoning to it because remember, I started out with unsalted stock. So at this point, it's going to be up to your taste, but I will show you what I do. Okay, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of salt because remember, there's no salt except for from the chicken, and I may even add more later. I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic powder and onion powder. And it's okay if it's like heaping, no big deal. And just about a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper because remember I've already added pepper to my chicken and I added pepper to the dumplings. And I'm going to stir this around. And then I'm going to slowly start to add the dumplings in there. And I'm going to let them simmer. So I'll turn my heat down just to where it's simmering. I'm going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes. But what I wanted to say as I'm doing this is I was limited on how much chicken that I could get because of everything that's going on. So usually with this amount of stock, I would have done twice the amount of chicken. So you might just think about that. If you are doing this, make sure you have a bunch of chicken. So this may be a little bit not as chickeny as I would like, but it'll still be good because there's lots and lots of dumplings in here. So we are going to time lapse this. And we'll bring it back and when we're finished. So I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, everyone, we are just winding down the final little steps of our delicious chicken and dumplings. But I want to remind you all just a couple of things before I add in my secret ingredient. Just be careful on this salt. Remember, it was unsalted, and I did use 2 tablespoons of salt. So you might want to start out with 1 tablespoon and then work your way up. But we are perfectly fine with the salt that I added in there. Okay, so the secret ingredient to anything that's luscious and creamy and all of that is just adding some whole whipping cream to your mixture. So I'm just gonna pour some in, maybe around a ½ cup or so. And remember, I let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna stir this together. And I would add more chicken, but I was limited to just the 1 package of chicken. So I would definitely add more chicken. But this is just about as good as it's gonna get. I'm gonna get a bowl just to show you what it's gonna, like the consistency of it. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, I guess if you are watching as well, please comment your favorite Easter food. And let me know if you've made a recipe that I've shown you to make, any one, whatever it is, and tell me, how you're feeling about it, whether you think that it worked for you, or maybe you're going to try something different, or just any feedback. So I'm going to scoop this in my bowl. It's going to be creamy, and it's going to be chickeny, which is probably not a word, but I just made it up. It's going to have lots of dumplings in it, and it's going to be delicious. So I hope you all make these chicken and dumplings. And one last thing is you can get all of this stuff and throw it into your crock pot also. After you roasted your chicken, you can throw everything in on your crock pot and it will be just as good to go. So thank you for watching, or if you haven't, that's okay. If you're new, awesome. Remember, God loves you. He is with us. He has not forsaken us. He has not left us. When you are talking with your neighbors, or you're on Facebook or any other social media, or you're even talking to yourself, be kind to yourself. I want you to remember that kind words matter. Whether you're talking to yourself or talking to others, one of my favorite verses in that the kiddos are trying to learn this week is, kind words are like honey. They are sweet to the spirit and healing to the body. Proverbs 16:24. So He loves you. I'm here if you have any questions, and I hope you try these chicken and dumplings, and we'll see you Saturday for lemon cream cheese bars.